Greetings everyone, Sylvain Dance 98 back at it again with another reaction, looking at the 20 most unique Rangers from Super Sentai, the groundbreaking heroes who broke the mold. So let's check this out, see what the most unique Rangers are. Why is there a Kamen Rider there? It's right here, right in the intro picture. Like, why is there a Kamen Rider right there? Jeez. Anywho, let's get started on this.
Super Sentai has had tons of memorable heroes over the years, but some stand out above the rest because of how different they are. From unconventional abilities to interesting origin stories and one-of-a-kind designs, these Rangers are trailblazers that redefine what it means to wear the spandex.
Oh, Kamen Sentai, okay.
This video is going to rank the top 20 most unique Rangers.
Forgot about the Kamen Sentai for a second, and I was just like, wait, why are they showing a Kamen Rider? Then I realized, oh wait, right, there's a Kamen Sentai team technically.
In Super Sentai history, and these Rangers defied all expectations within the franchise. But with that out of the way, let's get started at number 20. Starting off the list are the hilarious unique Beatbuster and Stagbuster from Go Busters. When Masato Jin was trapped in subspace, he created a buddyroid named BJ Stag who digitized his body, creating an avatar of Masato. Both of these characters have hilarious interactions with each other, and they both serve equally as 6th Ranger within the team. A lot of the time, Masato will get irritated by Stag standing in front of him and finishing his sentences, making their different personalities really entertaining to watch. Masato tends to be over the top and animated, while Stag tends to be a bit more naive and oblivious to social norms. The way their personalities interact reminds me a bit of Revice. Oftentimes, they pursue their own goals while the other Rangers are on a separate mission, and they have their own brand of heroism. This duo's story explores the nature of existence itself, due to them being a digitized avatar and machine respectively. They provide the show with tons of character depth. Masato was played by Hiroya Matsumoto, who famously played Magi Yellow and Magi Ranger, and Stag was voiced by Yuichi Nakamura, who also voiced Ultraman X, as well as the Yodan Changer in Kira Major, and several villains in Gokaiger. The creative origin story of these characters, plus their gold and silver color scheme, made them extremely unique. Unique in a completely different way from our number 19 entry.
You know, honestly, I gotta see the original Go Busters, because what we got here in America, nothing like that, honestly.
Next up is a Ranger who's actually the mother of the Magi Rangers, Miyuki Ozu, also known as Magi Mother. Most of the time when we see parents in the Sentai franchise, they're relegated to being side characters without much story or character focus. But instead of being a typical Sentai parent, Magi Mother actually transformed and battled against Infertia. Long before her kids became Magi Ranger, she fought on the front lines alongside her husband Isamu. This created a generational dynamic on the show that was really interesting, especially when things started to come full circle towards the end of the series. Early on in the show, she took a devastating attack that made it look like she died, but she would of course return later. This created a heavy and impactful story arc that built character development for her children over time. Magi Mother's love for her children was heartfelt and endearing, perfectly capturing the theme of this show, which was family. She was originally from Magitopia, where she trained and developed her magical abilities and became a Sky Saint. She was presented as someone who's virtuous and pure, symbolized by her flowing white suit design. Miyuki was played by Azusa Watanabe, who also played Controller Kima, a member of Foundation X in Kamen Rider Cross Kamen Rider Foze and O's Movie War Megamax. Magi Mother's maternal love and gracefulness made her a really unique character in the franchise, much like number 18 on our list. Coming up next is Kaoru Shiba, also known as Princess Shinken Red, heiress to the Shiba clan and second Red Ranger featured on Shinkenger. She was the first female Red Ranger within Sentai, and she temporarily replaced Takeru as leader of the Shinkengers. As royalty, this 17-year-old was raised to be a graceful leader, and this is shown in her unique fighting style and the way she carries herself in battle. She has the same suit design as Takeru, but with the addition of a skirt that's a signature of female Rangers in the franchise. When she arrived, the other Rangers didn't take too kindly to her because they viewed her as a usurper and they had strong admiration for Takeru. But despite this, they served Kaoru as they were sworn to do. Eventually, she would depart and adopt Takeru as her son, making him a true heir to the clan. Kaoru was played by Runa Natsui, and her graceful and elegant fighting style, along with her status as the first female Red Ranger, made her a no-brainer for this list. But when it comes to strangeness, our next Ranger on the list definitely has her beat.
Oh. Oh, jeez.
Next up is someone that redefined everything fans thought about Pink Rangers, Tsuyoshi Kijino from Don Brothers, also known as Kiji Brother. The most noticeable thing that makes him unique is that he's a male Pink Ranger, the first one ever within the franchise. He's also 33 years old and married, whereas most Sentai heroes are younger and usually single. He has an unhealthy obsession with his wife, and he's really awkward and insecure. When he transforms, his ranger form is tall with skinny legs, based on the design of a pheasant, the animal he was themed after. This gives him a unique and comedic look that definitely doesn't take itself too seriously. He can sometimes be delusional, and as he learns more about his wife, we see him make choices that walk the line between heroic and self-serving. He has a ton of depth as a character that isn't immediately obvious at the start of the show. He's a perfect blend of comedy and emotion as a character. Tsuyoshi was played by Hirofumi Suzuki, and he was unique in nearly every category. But while he was older than most typical Rangers, our next entry on the list is quite a bit younger.
Oh, right. Jeez, the White
Next
Ranger.
up is the 6th Ranger, who was actually a 10-year-old kid, and he grew into an adult-sized Ranger when he transformed. This is Ko, also known as Kiba Ranger, from Dai Ranger. Being a Ranger who's a 10-year-old boy is something that's obviously pretty unique. He's the youngest core team member in Super Sentai history. Since he's a kid, Ko creates a lot of mischief. He's also impulsive, and he lets his emotions get the better of him. He has a sarcastic talking sword named Byakko who acts almost like a mentor figure, which adds an interesting comedic tone to his scenes. Despite the lighthearted antics, Ko's storyline is actually packed with a ton of emotional weight, having to do with his mother and his relation to the Gorma tribe. Played by Hisashi Sakai, Kiba Ranger stands out for being bold, endearing, and unlike any other Ranger the franchise had seen before. But as eccentric as Ko is, the next Ranger on our list definitely tops him on the craziness scale.
Oh, jeez, are we just gonna get to crazier and crazier ones as we go through the list? Jeez, who's gonna be number one at this rate? Ooh.
Next up is an eccentric old man who transforms into the first Kyoryu Violet, Dr. Urushido. As I said earlier, most Rangers in the franchise are young adults, but Dr. Urushido is in his 60s. Despite his age, he's full of energy and he has some entertaining quirks that make him really memorable. He has strange habits, and he likes to test his inventions on himself without much regard for his own safety. He's also the voice that's featured on the Rangers' devices. Despite his age, he's enthusiastic about fighting and doesn't shy away from action, even if his body can't always keep up. His love for the Kyoryugers and authenticity make him a great source of comic relief, and sometimes he even adds emotional weight to the show. He eventually passes on his powers to his granddaughter, giving Kyoryu Violet a great legacy. Played by Shigeru Chiba, a legendary voice actor, Dr. Urushido was part mentor and part mad scientist. His age and energy are unforgettable, and he's definitely one of the most unique Rangers ever. But he's quite different from our number 14 entry, who's made of pure data.
Just 60-year-old guy just... Oh yeah.
Next up is the suave and incredibly unique Ranger known as Enter. Even though he looks like a regular person, Enter is actually a walking computer program, made entirely of data and code. He leveled up within the series with the goal of absolute perfection. He would eventually upgrade into Enter Unite, and later on he took things to a whole new level by becoming Dark Buster, an evil version of Red Buster that really shook up things on the show. Due to him being made of data, Enter felt totally fresh compared to most Sentai villains. He was played by Shio Jinai, and Enter's whole vibe made him one of the most unforgettable and unique Rangers in Sentai history. But he's beat out by a Ranger who is the definition of legacy. Next up is Akared, the mysterious Red Ranger that first showed up in the Bokenger vs Super Sentai movie. Although he served as Captain Marvelous's mentor in Gokaiger, he's not associated with just one team, but instead he represents all of them. He is the embodiment of every Red Ranger in Sentai history. What makes Akared so unique is that he's got no real identity and no backstory that we know of as the audience. He's more myth than man. He moves in the shadows, arrives during major events, and helps out when the stakes are high. He functions almost like a guardian angel of Super Sentai itself. His suit is designed with elements from the past, especially his helmet that was clearly inspired by Aka Ranger. This makes him feel iconic and like a living tribute to the whole franchise. Even though he's not around a lot, when he does show up, it matters. Every one of his appearances hits with weight and historical significance. Akared was voiced by Toru Furuya, a legendary voice actor that was featured in tons of Toku and anime projects. He even did the voice of Yamcha in Dragon Ball. Akared isn't just another Red Ranger, he's a
dang, the more you know.
walking celebration of Super Sentai's legacy. But if we're talking about unique and mysterious characters, we have to mention the number 12 Ranger on our list.
Yeah.
Next at number 12 is a Ranger
I knew he'd be here.
Mystery, the cool and charismatic Shurikinger from Hurricaneger. Nobody knows who he really is or what he really looks like. When he's not in a suit, he pops up in random disguises with different personas, making him feel less like a person and more like an urban legend. He tends to throw out English catchphrases and always refers to himself in the third person. Behind his theatrics and over-the-top personality, he's actually a really effective fighter, capable of dishing out some serious damage and utilizing his tactical skills to gain an edge in battle. His suit design is green with golden chest armor that he can remove, and after he spins around the upper part of his helmet, he reaches a new form called Fire Mode. Shurikinger was voiced by Taiki Matsuno, an industry veteran that was featured in tons of Sentai projects, plus Inuyasha, and he even did the voice of SpongeBob in the show's Japanese dub.
Wow.
Shurikinger is one of the most flamboyant,
Now, that's a resume.
hilarious, and unique Rangers in all of Sentai, landing him a spot right here. In terms of unique characters, our number 11 entry might have him beat out.
Ah.
Next is Gaisorg from View Soldier. Gaisorg isn't a person, he's a suit, a cursed set of armor driven by rage, ambition, and raw instinct. Anyone who puts it on gets swallowed up by its power, turning into a wild, uncontrollable warrior driven solely by destruction. He first appeared in Super Sentai's Strongest Battle, as a mysterious figure that clashed with legendary rangers. Then he arrived within View Soldier, with even more mystery behind the mask. A lot of his premise is that you never quite know who's wearing the suit. This living armor changes hosts, making it a force for chaos within the show. The suit design looks aggressive to say the least, featuring a deep purple color scheme, sharp edges, and dragon-like details that make him look bold and dangerous. While the View Soldiers look like Dino Knights, Gaisorg has a much darker looking version of this aesthetic. Eventually the armor ends up on Nada. His arc brings real emotional weight to Gaisorg's story, as Nada fights to reclaim his soul. The suit was voiced by a Sentai and Kamen Rider veteran named Masaki Terasoma, and Nada was played by Seiya Osada. Gaisorg stands out as one of the darkest, most intense reinterpretations of what a ranger can be. He's not just a hero or a villain, he's a walking curse on humanity, and he definitely belongs on the list. His vibe was dark and tragic, very different from our number 10 entry.
And that's where we'll end for now, but dang, Gaisorg has quite the different backstory compared to what we got here in the States for Kyuranger. I gotta check out some of these original ones, because what we're getting here in the States is more comedy, kid-friendly focus versus these deeper talks and stuff like that we're seeing here. I'm just like, yeesh. I mean, don't get me wrong, America, you're doing what you can with the Power Rangers series in order to, contend with the masses what they want for their kids. But jeezums, you're missing on some good characters here. Yeesh. Give us something more in depth like what we're seeing here in the originals. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I certainly did. Looking forward to seeing the second half of this with the last 10 on this list, but that'll be for the next one. In the meantime, please let me know if there's any... If you want me to react to clips of these guys, like clips of specific special rangers from this list, like seeing Gaisorg in like different fights or something like that, or even seeing Shurikinger doing his various abilities and attacks, and even a Zord, like, just whatever works. Just let me know down in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys like to see next as we continue on with the last part of the 20 most unique rangers. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!